Do you see a lot of concepts that Kevin brought with him to Minnesota that you may have brought with you from Sean here?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of carryover within a lot of the offenses in the National Football League these days, and I'm certain that Kevin learned a lot from Sean, as I did as well, and I know they got a ton of talent on that offense, so it's going to be a great challenge for our defense.
Now, we talked a lot about the new nickel with the two true inside linebackers that you guys have. When you look at the Vikings offense and the perimeter weapons that they have, and obviously Cook in the backfield, is this kind of like an offense that this is designed for to better have against a balanced attack like they have?
Are you saying our defense is designed for their offense, or?
Yeah. With the new look that you have.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I think it all comes down to your philosophical beliefs and getting the best players that you possibly can, and then tailoring your system to the player's skill set. So I do think that we've added some talent to our defense, and certainly lost some guys that were valuable as well. We're playing against a couple of them this weekend. So, but I think it's going to be a great challenge for our defense in regards to, I think, if you look over the last couple of years, the Vikings offense, they've really upgraded. That offensive line is much improved from a few years back. I think Kirk Cousins is still playing at a really high level. They've got multiple backs. I mean, obviously Cook, he is special. He's as explosive as anybody. You got Thielen and Jefferson. So I think it's going to be a big time challenge for us, and we're going to have to do a great job of winning the line of scrimmage and eliminating big plays down the field.
So is Ed Donatel a 3-4 guy now? Has he been influenced with time with Fazio? And can you see, do you anticipate that this Sunday?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, you just look at his background. He's been a D coordinator in this league. Obviously, he was here. But he's been with Vic for a long time throughout the course of his career. So, you never quite know what to expect week one, but I would say if they go base defense, that would probably be their base. I'm sure we'll get some packages that have 3 outside backers on the field. We could potentially get, a 6-1 package. I don't know. That is the beauty, I think, with the system. It's very similar to our system. There's a lot of carryover there. I'm sure they'll have added their own wrinkles, but it definitely, from an offensive perspective, it gives you, it keeps you a little bit off balance because you're not quite sure what to expect in terms of how are they going to match personnel and whatnot.
We'll get an injury report today. What will Allen be listed at? What has he been dealing with?
He won't be listed at anything today, but he will be on the injury report we don't have to list today, do we?
Just practice days.
Yeah, so he will not be practicing today. He got stepped on last week, and so that's where we're at with him.
Is there a way to alleviate growing pains with an offense in the season opener? Is there like a tried and true method to that?
Alleviate growing pains?
Yeah.
No, I think it's just more or less you got to get out there and you got to do it. And I think one way to feel confident about what you're doing out there is having a great week of preparation so you can go play fast and free. And certainly there's challenges on both sides in regards to unscouted looks, and every year's a new year in this league. So it's a lot of it is who can adjust the fastest and execute the best. And I think one thing, just from my experience in this league, is week one is always really amped up, and then you're talking about a North Division rival, a team that has incredible talent. I got a lot of respect for the coaches over there. I know a lot of those guys personally. And so I just think it's one of the most hostile environments that we play in every year. So hopefully our Packer fans will show up in droves and support us.
I don't suspect you're going to tell us, so I'm not asking it in that way, but do you know who your starting line is for Sunday?
Maybe.
Maybe, okay. I guess the reason I'm asking is, will those guys have enough reps together? I mean, it's one unit, obviously. Is there enough reps, do you think, for those guys to play as one?
There's never enough reps.
At least
So, but we feel good about our guys. Our guys are experienced, and we're going to put the best 5 out there and try to put them in the best position possible, however that may be, knowing that we're going up against a really good defensive line. They've got a couple great pass rushers. So, and then you add in the inability to probably hear on most of the snap counts. So it'll be a great test for our guys to see where we're at.
At least for the moment, your depth chart has Jenkins at right tackle if he's healthy enough. Helps he can play just about anywhere on the line. What do you like about him specifically there, or is it just a matter of getting the best 5 wherever you can?
You said it. I feel like I said this a lot of times, but yeah, however we can get our best 5 out there, we'll put them wherever we need. Certainly when you have a player of Elton's caliber, that frees you up and gives you a lot of flexibility to truly put the best 5 out there. So, but we'll see where it kind of goes as the week progresses.
Not to revisit last year's opener, we've talked about it, but having this year's opener be a divisional opponent, like you said, did that kind of cause you to reevaluate anything going into this opener, because division games do carry a certain weight, and do you have a feeling for how prepared this team is going into week 1?
Yeah, no, we definitely put a ton of thought into that, and I think I've talked to you guys at length about it before in terms of just what is the right answer. Well, the right answer is whatever works. So I do think the majority of their guys, if you look at their roster, and they're in a similar spot as us. They didn't play the majority of their big-time starters, and we didn't either. So it's going to be who can go out there and execute the best.
Did that 4 quarters practice that you had last week, did that maybe come from doing something different to keep them sharp coming into week 1?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to get a feel kind of where we were from a conditioning standpoint and to test them mentally. And so there was a lot of great things that came from it, and then there was a lot of things that you're like, whoa, we better clean this up before our next game.
You want to share those things?
No.
Sammy said on Monday that he can sort of tell, like in the off season, based on the vibe of the locker room, how far a team will go, and that this one feels special. Do you get that sense, and can you tell this early on what the team is capable of?
Yeah, I think that's tough to say right now. I think that we feel really good about the people in the locker room, not only as football players, but as men. And I think we've had that, I mean, the whole time that I've been here. It's been a great locker room, and that's such a great credit to the men in that locker room, but also to Goody and his staff of bringing us, high character people, because it always starts with the people. And I think that you find out what you're all about in times of adversity, and we haven't faced a ton of adversity, in the 3 years here. So. I think as the season progresses, we'll find out where we're at.
Matt, does it feel any different than the previous 3 years? Does this team feel any different to you?
Yeah, it feels a lot different. I think every year is a new year, and certainly there's a lot of new faces, a lot of new coaches, and new roles, responsibilities, and so yeah, it absolutely feels different. But it's one that I feel confident in the guys in that locker room.
You guys know how disruptive Zadarius can be out there. What's the challenge of facing someone like that right out the gate, and especially considering he might have some extra juice going up against his former team?
Yeah, I'm sure he will. He's one of the premier pass rushers in this league, and he's a challenge because he presents problems on the outside, and his versatility as a player where they can kick him inside and match him up over guards or centers or wherever they want to put him. No, he's an elite level player in this league, and anytime you're going up against that, and then you got Hunter on the other side from him potentially, and it causes for some reckless nights.
Matt, Zadarius said after his back injury last year, he was quote unquote treated badly here. I guess how did you view that? What would respond to that? Yeah,
no, I think that again. I respect the crap out of Z as a player. He busted his butt, did a lot of great things. I think we may have a different perspective of how things transpired. So I'll just leave it at that.
Have you announced to the guys who the captains will be headed into week 1, and if so, can you share them?
Yeah, no, we just took the votes today, and I'll let you guys know after I tell the team.
For you, what's week 1 like for you? I'm sure every game there's anxiety is probably a way overblown term, but I mean, there's a great unknown every week one, isn't there? Of what exactly you have, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so, but I think you just got to try to stay in the moment, enjoy it. It's exciting time. Certainly, any chance you get to be a part of the National Football League is exciting, but when you talk about love going into a hostile environment like Minnesota and hear that annoying horn that they like to blow in the Skol chant, it creates for the team to really stay together. And it's kind of the guys on that sideline, the guys in that locker room versus the entire stadium. So hopefully it'll bring us even closer together.
How much of an additional challenge?
That horn in practice this week?
I don't know. We'll see if Joe McKillop has that plan for us.
How much of an additional challenge is it preparing for a week one when you're facing a new staff where maybe, granted, they have backgrounds, but but it's still a debut. Does it make it any more difficult to prepare?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the tendency anyways is to overanalyze, and I know I've watched a lot of tape from different situations, and but at the end of the day, you got to kind of think back to some of the things that you do well, and ultimately it's about our players feeling confident in the plan and then going out there and executing. So whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, that's what we got to do, and it always comes back to you and the way you prepare, and hopefully you got enough adjustments, because there are going to be unscouted looks that come up within the course of week one, and it really, quite frankly, the first few weeks of the season. And you just got to be ready to adjust.
2 more, please. Matt, does it seem strange to you at all, or feel strange that you're the longest tenured coach now in the division, and I think there's only 3 in the conference that have been around, at least in their current spots, longer than you? No?
Not really. I haven't thought about it till now.
When you were at Sean's wedding, you and Joe, did you talk to Kevin about, did you acknowledge that you're going to be meeting week one and the rivalry? And did you get a slice of that Lombardi wedding cake that Sean had?
No, I don't think I did. No, we didn't talk about any of that, and certainly there is definitely I think a brotherhood, and I got a lot of respect for Kevin. I don't know him that well. I've never worked with him, but just being around him at the owners' meetings and knowing what Sean had to say about him, he's a guy that I definitely respect. Matter of fact, I had dinner with him at the Combine. We have the same agent, so that tends to get us all together. But he's a guy that definitely, he carries himself the right way. He's worked at it, and he's deserving of this opportunity. And again, I know it's going to be a good challenge for us.